Assalamualaikum and hi to everyone. My name is Anisraya. Today my group and I will explain the evolution of pteridophyte. This is the content that will be included in this topic, which are compare and contrast of macrophyll and megaphyll, type of pteridophyte, 3D model, and ferns life cycle. So, what is pteridophyte? Pteridophyte is broad term used to describe a group of seedless vascular plants including the fern and their allies, the horsetail and whisk fern. Both pteridophyte and seed plants have megaphyll. Before we get into the type of pteridophyte, I will explain to you the differences between macrophyll and megaphyll. So for the first factor, which is vascular tissue, macrophyll has a single strand of vascular tissue, meanwhile megaphyll have multiple strands of vascular tissue bundle. Macrophyll has narrow leaves, while megaphyll has broad leaf. Macrophyll absorb less sunlight than megaphyll. Macrophyll produce less offspring compared to megaphyll. Macrophyll also produce less organic food compared to megaphyll. For the location, macrophyll were found in lycophytes and megaphyll were found in all vascular plants except for lycophytes. This is the evolution of macrophyll and megaphyll. So I will explain to you about the evolution of macrophyll first. As we can see, the vascular tissue grows longer until the sporangia grows at the side of the stem. It will continue to grow the branch until the leaf is grown. Macrophyll only have single branch for each leaf, which then will be the single vein of the leaf. For megaphyll evolution process, one branch began to dominate the stem system into a few branches. The side branches become reduced and flattened, only the overtopping growth remain as a single branch. Finally, the tissues begin to fill in the space between the side branches and leaf grows with many veins in it.
The next slides, which is the types of pteridophytes. So there are three types of pteridophytes. The first one is the whisk ferns, the second one is the horsetails, and the third one is the fern. And then we move on to the first one, which is the whisk ferns. It can be divided into two, which is the xylotem and Timesipteris. So for the xylotems, it has no leaves and has rhizome to gives rises to stem. And then the second one is the Timesipteris, which have appendages to reduce megaphylls. And then this is the 3D model which have been made by my group mate, which is Ismahani. So this is the sporangium, the yellow one, and then the cleriff stem, and the scale, and the rhizome, and the root. Move on to the second types of pteridophytes, which is the horsetails. So the horsetail genus, which is known as the Equisitums, and then the habitat condition for horsetail are usually wet and marshy environment. And then the characteristics for horsetails, it have a rigid and tough stem, and then its spores. It is sensitive to humidity and spring loaded. And then the usage of horsetails are usually used as an ingredients and abrasive powder. And then this is the structure for the horsetails, which is the strobilus, and it's the branches, this one's in the middle, and its leaves here, and it have a node and a rhizome as usual. Then we move on to the last type of the last types of pteridophytes, which is the fern. Okay, so the habitat condition of fern are most abundant in warm, moist, tropical region, and temperate regions. So the usage Fern can be used as a decorative bouquet and ornamental plants, and also it can be used as a astringents, which equals stop bleedings. And then there are also some type of ferns such as the medicinal ferns, which could be used as a source of the cold medicines. And then these are the three types of ferns, which is the hard tongue ferns, the leather leaf fern, and the tree fern, which has its own functions.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today I want to present about pteridophytes. This is my 3D model. I choose with ferns as my 3D models. As you can see, with fern has parenchyms, aerial stems, rhizomes, roots, and also scales. Which fern has water and fruit conducting tissues but leaks through leaves and roots. So it also called as xylem, which means has no leaves. So the photosynthesis occurs in the aerial stems. Water and mineral absorptions occur in the horizontal underground root-like stems called rhizomes. The rhizome receives water and nutrient from the fungi through mycorrhizal associations. As you can see, which ferns has these pumpkin-shaped sporangia that burn on short side branches. In place of pollen and ovule of angiosperm, xylem has multicellular male and female gametophytes, and which ferns has spore which gives rise to the gametophytes. There are two phases in the life cycle of wheat ferns. The last asexual plant, sporophytes, produce spores that develop into very small colorless sexual plants, gametophytes, which are similar to rhizomes in overall appearance. Eggs and sperms are produced in auspicious structures on their surface. Union on these gametes initiates the second sporophytes phase.
Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. I'm going to continue the presentation by talking about ferns life cycle. So there are 7 processes that ferns undergoes in this life cycle. The first process is sporophyte, second sporangia, third spores, and the fourth gametophyte. And the fifth one is fertilization process, the zygote, and the last one, the fronds. I'm going to explain about the detail of each process. The first process is sporophyte. Sporophyte is a dominant factor in ferns, which means it controls the produce of ferns. Second is sporangia. Sporangia, as you can see in the diagram below, sporangia is located within sori or sorus, that is underside of the leaflets of ferns, and it is protected by the indicium. Next is the spores. The spores only produce when there is meiosis occurs inside the sporogium. Hence, when the sporogium opens, spores will be released. The fourth process is we call as gametophyte. Gametophyte is when spore germinates into protellus. As you can see in the diagram, the protellus bears the archegonia at the notch and enteridia at the tip between rhizoids. After that, process of fertilization. Fertilization only occurs when there is presence of moisture. So, how it is happen? The flagellated sperm must swim in a film of water from antheridia to the egg within the archegonium. Because of the fertilization process, zygote will produce. Therefore, we call the sixth process of one's life cycle as dizygote. The resulting sporophyte zygote begins its development inside an archegonium. The sporophyte will become visible. Why? Because the first leaf will appear above the prothallus and the roots will develop below it. The last process in the fern's life cycle is called the frons. The frons means the leaf of the ferns. As you can see in the diagram, sporophyte develops a root at the rhizome from which the aerial frons project. Hence, this concludes the 7th process of fern's life cycle. Last but not least, I would like to do a conclusion about this chapter. The evolution of pteridophytes is important because pteridophytes is considered as one of the successful colonizers in land-farming forests. It is also functioning as one of the food source for terrestrial animals. That's all from us.